There we go.
Hey, what's happening, Coach?
What's up, Jared? How you doing today?
I'm cooling, man. I'm cooling, man. Man, what's going on with the Wi-Fi up in Daytona, man?
I don't know, man. Listen, hey, we still celebrating from yesterday, man.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. That's what it is, man. Hey, man, listen. Thanks for coming on to the show, man. I appreciate it, my man.
No problem, man. Anytime.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Listen, so let's get right into it, man. There was a lot of hype going on all week, man. About this game. You guys are going, back and forth. So you've been the head coach and leader of the ship, man. How did you, how did you deal with the hype, surrounding this game, this week in practice, and make sure that your
What?
kids are focused.
Well, we learned a lot from our Bartow game. We placed a lot of emphasis on that team, and we wanted to do it different because we went down to Bartow and got a bad result, placing a lot of emphasis on one specific game instead of the bigger picture. So we
Okay.
just reminded the kids to focus on the bigger picture and what our ultimate goal is.
Okay, okay. Now, you kind of went into a little bit. Now, in terms of that Bartow game, that was a tough loss for you guys. I think you guys lost like 28-0 or something
Yeah.
in that game. So how did you make sure that your kids remain focused on the bigger season? That listen, all was not lost just because you lost a big game, to a very tough opponent. What did you do in order to make sure that your kids, still stayed focused on the bigger goal?
Well, as a coaching staff, we preach discipline and composure. We lost our composure as coaches and as players in that game. So we've been preaching that on a daily basis in practice, outside of practice, when we hanging out with them, when we spending time with them outside of the football field. And because in life you have to remain composed when your back is against the wall. So since we took that loss, our kids have grown into buying into what we preach to them about being composed. So we have a much better composed team and a much better disciplined team because of that. So I appreciate you, Bartow. We needed that wake up.
All right, that's what's up, man. Now, in terms of your preparation for this game, this Rockledge, 14U team is a very talented team, and they hadn't lost a regular season game in like 4 or 5 years or something like that. I think like 5 years they hadn't lost a regular season game. Now, in terms of your preparation for this game, after the Bartow game, did you change up anything in terms of how you prepare, to face this team? And this is going to be your next biggest challenge, since Bartow. I mean, within Mid Florida.
No, we don't change anything we do.
Okay.
We emphasize the little things, the fundamentals, the techniques, and being disciplined. Discipline is a biggest part of what we do. We
Okay.
remain disciplined at all costs. Bartow taught us a lot as coaches, and it taught the team a lot as a team. So
Okay.
we took that loss and we grew from that loss. So now we take every game like a regular game. Now that we're
Okay.
into the
Okay.
playoffs, we in the win or go home mentality, and we have one common goal. So we preach that all year, and then our kids have bought into that system, and now we just fulfilling what we set out to do.
Okay. That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Listen. Now, let's talk a little bit about that. About that game. You know, in terms of your preparation, for that particular ball game, and your film study, what did you see as it related to that Rocklands team that you felt as though you would be able to have some success with that team?
Well, the one thing I always tell my kids, we have to be multidimensional. And,
Okay.
and watching film with my coaches, we noticed that they had a suspect secondary.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when we struck that first touchdown, it was a passing touchdown.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
there, I watched the secondary, eyes in the backfield. So from there, it was just a matter of playing what we do, doing what we do.
Okay.
So we took advantage of the secondary. We kept them off balance, and we played a great game of football yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. Definitely, it was it's particularly in the second half, man. That was a real slugfest, in the second half, of that football game, and leading, to my next question, man. Early in the fourth quarter, you going to the fourth quarter, you guys were down 2 scores. Now what did you say to your team, going into that fourth quarter to make sure that they kept their heads up and make sure that they knew that you guys were still in the ball game?
Well, my kids know that we not out of the ball game till the clock says 0-0 in the
Okay.
fourth quarter, and that goes back to us preaching composure and discipline. So coming into the fourth, like I was telling one of my assistant coaches today, I had no idea that we was actually down 14 until we
Okay.
struck. We scored early in the fourth quarter. They got the ball back, and
Yeah.
then we got it back again, and it was 19-25.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I told my kids, and I tell them all the time, remain humble and stay focused. The game
Okay.
is not over till the clock says 0-0 in the fourth quarter and the ref waves his hand and says ball game.
Yeah.
So the composure that we practice, the composure that we have, is a big part of what we did yesterday. If you
Okay.
notice in the live video, it was pointing times when my kids was telling the sidelines, "Y'all calm down, y'all calm down.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah. I
got
saw that.
this."
I saw
You
that. I
know,
saw
and
that.
that's it. That made me smile yesterday as a head coach because they really bought into the system and they
Mhm.
really stay focused and disciplined.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And listen, there are several. Because I mean, listen, that was a highly contested game, man. Both sidelines was rowdy, and both teams really wanted to win that game. You're absolutely correct. That your kids did a great job of even telling the sidelines to calm down. Just let them play the game, man. Now, coach, listen, I'll be honest. I normally don't talk about individual kids on the show, but man, what a show that number 5 put on for you guys yesterday, man. I mean, that kid really willed that team to victory. And it seemed like every time you guys needed to play, somehow, some way, he made the right play to keep you guys in that ball game. And eventually, got you guys over the hump, to win that game. Just talk about his play a little bit for us.
Well, number 5 is my man, Mr. James Randall. He's
Okay.
been with me and our coaching staff for the last 3 years. So
Okay. Okay.
we've had some time to develop him, but he's a natural athlete, Jared.
Yeah, definitely.
James is just a beast. He's one of those kids that you would love to have in your program. It took us a while to get through to him because he's just pure raw talent.
Mhm.
But he is our playmaker. He is the one that drives the team. He's a leader. He's a natural born leader. And us having him for the last 3 years, we're now starting to see him step into his full ability of what he can be on the next level. And yesterday it showed. When we needed to play, he looked at me. He said, "Coach, I got us." I would give him instructions. He say, "I got you." And if you notice, every time me and him had constant communication, because that's how it has to be when I'm the head coach and he's the leader of the team and what we
Yeah,
do. He drives the ship. I'm just the play caller. But at the end of the day, he has to make the plays. And he's the
definitely.
one that sees the field. He's the field general. He's a great leader, great personality. One of those kids that always has a smile on his face and he's always positive. That's one of the kids that I'm going to really miss. I'm going to enjoy seeing him on Friday nights, lighting the field up, doing what he do best. But he's a natural athlete and a great kid.
Hey, listen, man. One thing that impressed me, with that kid, man, is that not only his scrambling ability and his ability to, get away from defenders in the backfield. Because Rockledge just start coming hard off the edge. To force him to try to throw the ball to one side of the field. Rather than just letting him, just scramble in the backfield. And the thing that impressed me was that he always keeps his eyes downfield. And that's just not something you normally see with kids at that age. Once the pocket
Right.
collapses or once they get under some pressure, they're looking to take off, man. This kid, will get loose. I mean, and find somebody downfield, or find a check down, find someone, 30 yards downfield, man. I mean, and like I say, just natural ability, man. And that just goes to show when you have natural playmaking ability and good coaching, when you marry those two together and you get a kid that buys in, anything is possible, man. I mean, and hats off to that kid, man. I mean,
Yeah.
because he really truly made the plays that need to be made in order not only just to keep you guys in that ball game, but made sure that his team came away with the victory. Because the
Yeah.
touchdown was on fourth down.
Yes.
The last touchdown was on fourth down.
Yes, it was. 4th and 2. And I called my last time out, called everybody to me. I looked everybody in their eyes. They looked me back in my eyes. I gave them the play, and they said, "Coach, we got it." We went out, we executed, But it goes back to what you just said. You know, when you have a player that has natural talent and is a natural athlete, and you marry that with good coaching, like we have a great coaching staff throughout the Cowboys organization, and everyone chips in and help all the way from flag up to 14U. So it makes it easier on us when we get in crunch time situations because we practice the things that the kids see game time. So
Yeah.
him looking downfield, that was something that we've been practicing for the last 2 years. Having the receivers keep working when they see the pocket collapse and keep going upfield. His arm strength is unbelievable. There was a
Yeah.
couple times where he's wrapped up 3, 4 people on him and he's throwing the ball 40, 50 yards down the field. So that's just something that you can't teach. But once you put the fundamentals and the discipline with it, oh man, Jared, it's a show to see.
Yeah, hey, listen, it was definitely a show to see yesterday, man. I mean, listen, I'm a Raider, man. I was hoping that they won the game, but listen, when I'm out there live streaming, I'm impartial, man. I just want to
Right,
make
right,
sure
right.
that that we put a that we make sure that we have a good show, for the people, man. And both teams came out and played hard, and your guys' hard work and perseverance, definitely won you guys, that ball game. Hey, well, Coach, listen, I'm not going to, hold you up, any longer. Is there anything else you want to add or anything you want to let the people know, before I let you go? You have the floor.
First and foremost, I just want to thank all of our fans, all of the coaches that stayed to support us. We're normally used to playing in the middle of the day, and we got the game pushed back to the end of the day. So I want to thank all the parents, fans that stayed to cheer on the guys. Um, Secondly, I want to give a shout out to my DC and all of my coaches because we came together as a team yesterday. We stayed composed from the coaches on down to the kids. Shout out to my DC, Law Saban. Appreciate you doing your thing yesterday, bro. You gave me the ball back, and I told you we was gonna put that game-winning drive together, and that's what we did. Shout out to my president, and that's about it.
That's what's up, man. Hey, well, listen, Coach Will, congratulations again on a huge win. Listen, good luck in the playoffs. Listen, you have my number, man. If there's anything I can do for you, if I can be of any assistance, man, just reach out and let me know, man. Double salute to you. You enjoy the rest of your evening, Coach.
You too, Jared. Have a good one.
I appreciate you, man. All righty, guys. I want to thank Coach Will again for coming on to the show. I knew once we got him on, that would be a great, great interview. Listen, those guys did a tremendous job, yesterday in Rockledge. Listen, Daytona Beach Cowboys came into Rockledge 2 weeks in a row, guys. And listen, the Rockledge is not an easy place to play football. And, they came down there and they had a lot of success. So tip my hat to to the Daytona Beach Cowboys. I see my wife and I were talking about it. I see a real huge rivalry that's brewing between those two organizations, and hopefully both of them stay strong, and we're able to to create a good friendly rivalry with those guys from here in years to come. And with that, guys, I'm out. I love you guys to death, and I see you guys next week. Double salute. Y'all be safe.